Welcome, everybody to Duck Hoops. I'm Charlie Duckworth, and who are you?
I'm your father. I'm Matt Duckworth. How you guys
uh,
doing tonight?
and welcome to our little college basketball podcast that we're starting up here on the Boot Hill Sports Network. You know, Mark has all take the over, so I decided I wanted to capitalize on the college basketball market just a little bit, and so I got my dad here helping us along the way. So, do we want to just get ahead and start talking about this week in college basketball?
Yeah, man, we can get into it. I can't believe, as a diehard Memphis Tiger fan, that I'm doing this podcast during this game because we're giving Purdue all they want. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the week that was.
Yeah, as you're saying, this Purdue's on a 7-0 run. So
Yeah,
let's just start off with Sunday's action. I mean, in I believe Birmingham, Houston, number one Houston beat number 22 Auburn 73-72 at a neutral site court. I mean, that game just back and forth, two heavyweights battling. Kingston Flemings for freshman guard for Houston showing out the most 22 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists
yeah.
for the Cougars. Auburn being led by senior forward Keyshawn Hall, who has just been on a tear this year. I mean, he had 28 against Bethune Cookman, 25 against Merrimack, 20 against Wofford, and then 20 against Houston. And we'll be talking about Auburn a little bit later because they're going to be in the Players Era Festival this year.
I was able to watch a good portion of that game, and Auburn had its chances to win that ball game at the end, but what stifled them was the Houston defense. There's something about Coach Sampson and the way his teams played defense. It was a big block there at the end. Auburn, looked like the guard was going to get a good look. Kid from Houston comes from behind, blocks the shot, and they end up winning the ball game. They are a different kind of team. That smothering defense, and in the last couple of years, he's been able to get some scores there too. So look out for Houston this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a trademark of the Kelvin Sampson era at Houston, just to be able to play some gritty defense. I mean, you saw it when they were in the American, when they would have duels with Memphis. It was a defensive matchup, even when Memphis would have a top or a high ranked offense. So, do we want to talk about the game that we went to Sunday?
Yeah, I don't know if I want to, but yeah, let's go ahead and get into it.
So, we went to the Memphis Whiteout game. Second time we went to Memphis Whiteout. This time it was against UNLV. Josh Pastor coming back to the city of Memphis, and he got a pretty good reaction from the crowd, except our spot. But he got a pretty good ovation from the
Yeah,
Memphis crowd. And you know what? I feel like halfway through the game they were thinking, why can't we have Josh back?
I don't know about all that, but yeah, it was good. I felt like the crowd that was there, which was very sparse, which has been a problem really the last couple years in Memphis basketball. But the crowd was not a large crowd, but the people who were there, they did show a lot of love to Josh. And wow, I just did not expect to see the result we saw, Charlie.
No, absolutely not. But I mean, UNLV they played to win. I mean,
Yeah.
they earned that win right there. I mean, they had a pair of 25 point scorers and Isaac Williamson, a freshman guard who doesn't even have a photo on a app I'm using right here, and Howie Fleming, who I did make fun of during the game because his name was Howie, but still he had 25 and 12 in
you know
that
what's
game.
you know what's crazy? UNLV actually had a couple starters that were out for that ball game.
And I feel like they might have played a little bit or showed mercy on Memphis. I mean, they only won by 14 in a game where they were up by 21.
Mm, well, I feel like Memphis still is the better team. I feel like they're proving that right now against Purdue. I just feel like that was probably the worst effort I've ever seen out of a Memphis Tiger basketball team. They were not really fighting for rebounds. They were not. The effort was just lacking. It was really hard to watch. The only really takeaways that I had from it were Thedford played pretty well, and Majak, who I think is going to be a very good college basketball player in the next couple of years. Aside from that, it was terrible. It was hard to watch.
And I know it was hard to watch because we did something we never do:
Yeah,
leave.
we did.
I mean, we left with like 9 minutes left in the game. It was just, it was
Yeah, me
bad.
and you have sat through some stinkers before, and we always try to make it to the final buzzer. But that was a tough performance. I'm glad to see, despite how the result turns out in this ball game that's currently going on. I'm glad to see that Penny's got the guys looking like the effort's definitely there today. Looks like he's throwing some better rotations. I hate the fact that Bradshaw fouled out of that ball game because he was finally starting to have a decent ball game. But at least they're giving a good effort, and maybe, just maybe, talk radio will calm down a little bit here in Memphis after this
And
one.
you already know talk radio is never going to calm down. Memphis could be undefeated going into the tournament. They'd be asking for Penny's head on a platter.
That's true. That's true.
So, some other key games over the week. The Champions Classic was this week, this Tuesday in Madison Square Garden. First of all, we had Michigan State versus Kentucky, which was a game that I interviewed Coach Day from South Pim, so I didn't get to watch most of that game. And I checked, or whenever I left, the score was like 2018, and then whenever I came back, the score was like 60-50 or 60 to like 49. I was so confused on what Michigan State was, but it was just they hit the 3-pointer
Yeah.
a lot, and they won 83-6.
Yeah, I was surprised. Coach Izzo's teams are not really known for being excellent 3-point shooting teams. They were sure hitting the shots there. They're a good ball club, probably better than I expected. On the flip side of that, Kentucky, I was talking about sounding alarms. You think the talk radio is rough in Memphis? I imagine in Lexington over there in Kentucky, it's a lot worse. I think both teams are going to be, competitive down the stretch. But Coach Izzo's got that team ready to play. He always does. And if they can hit threes like that and play with the physicality that they did, they're going to be a very, very tough team.
I mean, so yesterday when the day after the Kentucky game happened, I sat down. I looked at their rest of the schedule for the season. They are not like this is a rough one for a team that's been showing cracks. I mean, that Louisville game was a crack, and this one was just. I mean, Pope said it. They got outplayed. He got outcoached. You look at the rest of their schedule here, or their major games. They have North Carolina. They have that game's in Lexington. They have Gonzaga at Nashville. They have Johns. They have when SEC play starts. First SEC game. Who do you use?
Alabama.
Alabama.
Yeah, I think I saw that on the schedule. Alabama's also got a brutal schedule, but yeah I think I saw that.
Then they travel end of the week or at the end of the month of January to Fayetteville, and then they play Tennessee, Florida, on. Then they finish the season off against Florida as well. It's a very unforgiving schedule. I mean, the first schedule you kind of can't how good that is. The SEC is just top conference in college basketball, but I mean that non-con you have Gonzaga, you still have St. John's who has shown some weaknesses. I have a few questions about their shooting, which was a major part of last year's collapse in the tournament. But let's talk about the other game that happened at MSG, that Kansas, Duke, and the Blue Devils are it. I mean, we knew that, but they are a legit team. Kansas missing Peter. So preface that when I tell you the score was 78-66, Blue Devils over Jayhawks.
Yeah, I sat up later than I normally do and watched that ball game. I was super impressed with both teams, to be honest with you. But the Blue Devils, the Boozer twins, especially Cam, I mean, 18 points, 11 rebounds from him. It was strange. I was talking to a friend of mine, and I said, "Man, I know I'm getting old because I can remember watching their dad play in college, and I think I was in high school then. Both of those kids are great. The other twin that doesn't get talked about as much had a really good job. He had some assists, really ran the floor well. But Cam, in my opinion, may be the best player in the nation. I know there's some really good ones right now, but if you really held my feet to the fire, I think I would take him as the top player in the nation. And like you said, one of the other top players did not play in that game for Kansas. They're they've had a couple years that have been kind of rough for Kansas metrics. They were predicted to finish sixth in the Big 12 this year. After watching that game, I could see them easing on up there. I know the Big 12 is a tough conference, but I think Coach Self has got a good squad there.
I mean, you're looking at the Big 12 right now. I mean, you have BYU, Houston, Arizona, Iowa State, Texas Tech all involved. People like to talk about the SEC as a good conference or a great conference for basketball, but I tell you, the Big 12 is right there.
Well, you got Houston at the top of it.
I mean, you have Houston. And I mean, BYU, AJ Dybansa, don't doubt what he can do on the hardwood this year. I mean, that first game he had against Villanova was just a show, and then losing to UConn Saturday does sting, but still, that's a great UConn team over there.
For sure.
So let's travel over to last night's games, two major ones, both of them on Fox Sports. I don't know how they got this doubleheader scheduled to them. It feels like this was crying for ESPN. So we started off the doubleheader with a great one in Storrs, Connecticut. 71-67, number 4 Arizona beat number 3 UConn. So, I mean, what did you see out of that game?
Well, it was a tough break that Alex Carbon from UConn ended up fouling out of that ball game. That said, two excellent teams going at it. Arizona, I mean, they look as good as anybody. Jalen Bradley with 21 points in that ball game. You've got Pete out there. They have got a heck of a squad. What was the nickname for their coach? I know he's friends with Mixmaster Mike. What's
DJ his DJ Tommy? DJ Tommy something?
Yeah, well, I tell you what, DJ's he's scratching up some good play out of his team there. That's a tough environment to go up and get a W, and even early in the year. So we'll talk a little bit more about Arizona later on in the podcast. But I right now they are as good as anybody in the country, and I'm going to tell you right now, Dan Hurley's got a good squad in UConn too. And they were not fully healthy. I think that they're going to be tough. I think we're seeing a lot of teams that we're going to see go late into March that are already meeting up in this early play, non-conference play, and it's fun to watch.
I mean, it's great when you have these games. And, I've said this so many times this year, but I love teams having to travel on the road in top 10 matchups. Because the vibe of a home campus getting a top 10 matchup is just so great. I mean, the environment in Storrs last night was so good. It brought out Pac-Man and the Ghost out of the arcade machine. So, I mean, it was wild, the environment in Connecticut. And then the second game on the doubleheader was taking place in the United Center in Chicago. Number 11, Alabama beat the number 8 Fighting Illini in Chicago, 90-86, in a game where it feels like Alabama had a bounce back after the Purdue loss. I mean, they looked. I wouldn't say they looked like a different team in that Purdue loss, but they looked like Purdue exposed them, and they came back against Illinois and just, I mean, flat out, LeBaron Philon is one of those dogs. He is a great player. For the Crimson Tide.
I mean, 24 points, 5 assists, and down the stretch, he made every big bucket he needed to.
That three-pointer, I don't know who the announcer was for Fox Sports, but he said an early dagger. That's how much confidence he had in the Crimson Tide there. That was an insane shot to hit.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was very similar to the Arizona-UConn game. both of these teams I see being capable of making deep runs. I thought Illinois played really well, and Stojakovic is a problem. His
He
dad
is.
was a great player, but this kid is way more athletic.
Yeah, I mean, he finished out the night 26 points on 69% shooting. But I mean, let's not forget about David Mirkovic, 10 and 10 last night, and Kylan Boswell's 22 and 7 assists
Mhm.
for the Illini. I mean, they gave it all that they could, but when you have LeBaron Philon just shooting the lights out in Chicago, and you have someone like Bowen for Bama that can just, I mean, block shots like there's no tomorrow.
Mhm.
It's pretty easy to see how the Crimson Tide would win that game.
Well, Coach Oates has got a good team. He also is scheduled really tough. They've got some big matchups. They've already played Purdue. They've played Illinois. They've got a lot of tough matchups coming up, and I know we're going to talk about some of those in a little while. I really like Alabama, but the thing about Coach Oates' teams over the last couple of years is if the threes are not falling, they are susceptible. They were falling against
That's what
Illinois.
knocked them out in the tournament this year.
Yeah,
was that they just could
worries
not
me.
shoot.
Well, that's one thing I think the performance we saw from Phil Bond, I think is really strong because a lot of his wasn't on threes. He can get to the basket. I always worry about a team that lives and dies by the threes because in March, all it takes is one game. Those threes aren't falling and you're out.
I mean, not to bring us a little bit back home here, but that's the same thing in high school basketball. I mean, you saw. I mean, last year when Campbell was the 1 seed in districts, they just couldn't hit the 3 ball in districts. Got upset by Neelyville, who were the 5. I mean, that's just the risk that you take when you have these 3-point shooting teams.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, then looking at Bama's schedule for the rest, excluding the Players era, which we'll get into for later. I mean, they have Clemson, Arizona. Still, they have Arizona. Then in January, their conference schedule, they start off with Kentucky. They play Tennessee.
Yeah.
They play Florida. They play Tennessee, Mizzou, Florida in 3. Like that's 3 games that they have in a row. Then they play Auburn in. Well, I mean, last year was a game of the year contender, and I believe that game was in Tuscaloosa. This year, I mean, back in Auburn, who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Then they also have Arkansas, Tennessee again, and they finish out the year against Auburn, of course. So, I mean, a lot of great teams in a lot of different conferences. Who do you think so far has been the strongest conference in these first 2 weeks of college basketball?
Well, I mean, that's a toss-up, really. I think it's between the Big 12 and the SEC. I think that the SEC has proven a lot. Auburn going and playing Houston to 1 point really surprised me a little bit. I really thought Auburn would kind of take a step back with Coach Pearl. Well, I know they still have a Coach Pearl, but with
I thought
with
Pearl
Daddy
retiring
Pearl
that late would be over.
and,
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of thought that they would fall off, but to go and play Houston to 1 point, it was impressive. If you really had to make me pick, I think the SEC. I really do.
My hot take is that I think it's the Big Ten. I mean, you look at
yeah?
their two big games against SEC schools. Michigan State lights up Kentucky, and then Purdue lights up Bama. So
That's a good
I mean,
point.
those two are some pretty big non-conference wins against another. I mean, right there, they are like the mountaintop of what you want as a basketball conference. I think right now the Big Ten has, I believe, 14 schools in bracketology, or 12 schools. They have 12 schools in bracketology out of 18, I'm pretty sure, which is a wild amount to have.
Yeah.
So, do we want to get into Feast Week?
Unless you want to go ahead, since I know we put these together. You want to go ahead and rock our top 10s out before we go?
Yeah, let's rock our top 10s. Who wants to go first?
I don't mind. Rock paper, scissors.
Yep.
Can you guys tell that we're related?
Okay.
1, 2, ready? Rock, paper, shoot.
1, scissors, shoot. I got scissors.
All right, you go first.
Okay, I go first? All right.
Yeah.
So I have 3 honorable mentions. I have Texas Tech, think the Red Raiders have something going on down there in
Okay.
Lubbock. UCLA, one loss. It's Arizona, and the rest of their games they have just been amazing. I mean, dominant performances. Obviously, weaker competition, but still. And then also my missed cut, Kentucky. I'm not uh down on them yet. I still
Mhm.
believe that they can possess something. It just matters if Mark Pope can get these Wildcats back on track after kind of a just I wouldn't say heartbreaking, but a soul crushing loss like it was Tuesday night. So my top
Not
10,
heartbreaking, but soul crushing. That's still pretty
I think,
tough, buddy.
well, heartbreaking. I'd say a buzzer beater's heartbreaking,
I
but
got you.
like,
Yeah.
all right. So my top 10, I start off with Illinois. I
Mm.
think when Illinois is hot, they are hot. Like they are one of the best teams in college basketball. Um, it's just how much do you think this European experiment can work when it comes to Big Ten play?
Mm.
I mean, they have Purdue, and I mean, don't forget like Dana Altman's got a good Ducks team over in Oregon. You have Michigan, Michigan State.
Mm.
Ohio State's got a coach on the hot seat, so I mean, do they have a chip on their shoulder this year? Iowa's got a new head coach. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, we'll
Um,
find out. It's a tough conference.
Number 9, Alabama. They were going to be out of my top 10 until they beat Illinois last night.
Hmm.
Number 8, Louisville.
Okay.
I ain't forget Michael Brown Jr.'s performance against Kentucky yet.
Mm.
That 27 in a rivalry game like that,
Absolutely.
like that's big. Number 7, Michigan State. Like we said earlier, the shock of the century, a Coach Izzo team can hit a 3-pointer
Hmm.
consistently. I mean that they look dangerous. As I can give you a scoring update.
Yeah, I just looked
Uh,
at it.
80-71 final. So Purdue advances to the finals of the Baja Mar Classic.
Yeah.
So,
I'll take it.
yeah, I mean it's better than getting blown out.
I'll take it.
Number 6, Gonzaga. I don't see a lot of people talking about Gonzaga this year.
Yeah.
Maybe if it's just that all that hype that they had at the beginning of the decade has kind of fell down now that they don't have like someone like a Chet Holmgren that's the number one in the class or something like that. But I mean, they have one of the older teams and one of the more experienced teams in college basketball. They're older than like 3 NBA team starting lineups
That's crazy,
on
isn't it?
average. Yeah, I think they're older than the Wizards, the Pacers, and I forgot the other team. It's another kind of bottom feeder team right now in the NBA. But I mean, they have Tyon Grant Foster, who the story of a lifetime, getting told that he couldn't play last month, and now he's playing again.
Yeah.
I mean, that's he's a big gain for this team. Um, then so my number 4 is Duke. Blue Devils are just good. They're a good team.
Hmm.
They find ways to win in ways that you never seen before. When Cam Boozer's hot, he is just. I mean, he is the hype that he was coming out of high school. I didn't. Sometimes when it's these high school players, I don't really believe the hype
Hmm.
early, but he might be the real deal. John Shire's got something over there.
I agree.
Number 3 is Purdue.
Wow.
They're a good team. They're a really good team.
Hmm.
Number 2 is Houston. I have a little bit of bias for number 1 because I just kind of have to after seeing 2 of their games. Houston, though, defense. Big win against Auburn. It's just, can they keep this up? I mean, coming
Yeah.
into a tough non-con schedule that's left. And my number 1 is Arizona. Koa Pete is the real deal. Koa Pete should be at least top 10 in betting odds for the win right now. Maybe top 5. He's just been a monster to start off his college career. And I think the Wildcats have something this year. That's something that they haven't had in a little bit. DJ Tommy Lloyd or something like that. He's got something cooking. He's got something cooking over there. So what's your top 10 looking like?
Okay, I think it's fair to tell the audience we agreed not to discuss these top tens beforehand. So any similarities you may see, we're were not discussed. My
They're
honorable
artificial.
mentions: I got the Florida Gators, the returning champs. Um, I, they haven't looked maybe as dominant, but I don't rule out that team. They have still got a lot of talent there. I also got BYU, a team that I know you mentioned, Diamante, I believe that's how he pronounces his last name. Is that
Dibansa.
correct?
Dibansa.
Dibansa. Okay, wrong. I'm sorry, wrong guy. He is also projected to be a top 3 pick in the NBA draft next year. He's a beast. I've got Michigan State. That performance the other night really propelled them up there. And then I got one that you didn't mention that they're actually undefeated, and it's North Carolina. I think
Ooh.
I think the
Yeah, North
Tar Heels
Carolina's a bit of a sneak.
and I always every year think the Tar Heels are going to choke, and I'm not the biggest fan of Coach Eby or anything, but so far they have looked really good. They've got some matchups coming up soon, and we'll find out. But I had to throw them in there.
I mean,
Uh,
Hubert Davis looks inspired with this hot seat that he kind of has surrounding him.
yeah, I think he is coaching for his job this year. I truly do. That's if they don't make the tournament, he's good as gone.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, it's a proud job that you're kind of squandering a proud tradition in the
yeah,
state of North Carolina.
yeah, I agree. All right, getting into the top 10. At number 10, I've got the Zags of Gonzaga. Like you said, an experienced squad. Mark Few is a great coach. Uh, I, I've ruled them out in years before, and when they didn't get off to hot starts. But this year, I mean, they're 5-0, and they've got some big games coming up out of conference. We'll see them against some national ranked teams, and we'll see how good they are. But I've got them at 5. At 9, I've got, or at 10, excuse me. At 9, I've got the Fighting Illini of Illinois. After seeing that game, how hard they played Bama, they've got a lot of guys that can score the basketball in that squad. I think they're going to be just fine in Big Ten play. At number 8, I think me and you both had the same pick here. I've got Louisville.
Yep.
Yeah, that win over Kentucky was impressive. I just, I got to see them play another top team and have a effort like that. And then if that's the case, I may even move them up higher because they've got a lot of talent on that team. At 7, I've got the UConn Huskies.
Ooh, I forgot about UConn. I can't
Well,
lie.
they gave Arizona fits, and they were missing a player. I forget his name. They also had Alex Garabon foul out. I really think that Dan Hurley's got a good team there. As much as I don't like Hurley, and I'll just state it for the record, I don't. I think he's smug. He's not my kind of coach. Well, I mean, I'm just being honest.
I agree with you. I think I think he's too big for his britches sometimes.
Yeah, I do
I
too.
think he thinks that the refs are kind of serve him
Mhm.
more than he kind of serves the refs. I mean, the refs control your game that you
Well,
coach. I mean,
think that's one of the big reasons you didn't see him making the jump to the Lakers because I don't think that the way he coaches would have worked in the NBA at all.
oh,
I
you already
don't
know
think
Tony
it would
Brothers would
work
have
at
gave
a
him a
lot of.
tech.
Yeah, I don't think, huh?
Tony Brothers would have gave him a tech on the
Yeah,
first game of the
exactly.
season.
I mean, dude, like he starts getting heated, LeBron's gonna look at him like, "What are you talking about, man?" But I don't want to get too far off track. But I do think that he has a good team this year, and I do think that they will end up with a high seed, and that's going to help them. So we'll see. At 6, I've got the Crimson Tide, Nate Oates'
Okay.
Alabama team. Um, they're good. I mean, they have talent and they are deep. The only concern I mentioned early is that it's a risky proposition living and dying by the 3. But when they hit, I mean, you're as good as anybody. I do think he has a lot of talent. I think they're a little better defensively than they were last year. We'll see. At let's see. At 5, I've got one that you did not have on your list. I've got University of Michigan.
Okay. So look, you want to hear something here? I
Mm-hmm.
looked at my top 10. I skipped number 5 because I put Louisville twice. I would have
Really?
put Michigan. I
You
put
want to hear
Michigan
something
5.
funny?
What?
I skipped it at first too, and yeah,
Like,
I don't know
look,
what happened.
I edited it to say Michigan 5. I
Yeah.
can't.
Well, I think that the Wolverines are a really good team, and we'll see. I know a lot of people probably aren't as high on them as I am, but I think that they've got a really good chance to make a run this year. And
Yeah, they got Yaxel over there.
yeah, for real,
Uh,
they are
Number one
good.
rival of Memphis, Yaxel Lindenborg.
That's the truth. You're going to really crack up when you hear these next. I got four. I got the Duke Blue Devils. Um,
Okay. Okay.
I think that you said it. The Boozer twins, all the other talent they got, John Shire at coach. Um, these and I'll say this before I reveal the other. I think that my top four, I really think are pretty much interchangeable. Duke could be the best team in the nation. I know this much. They're going to play disciplined basketball, and they look really good. At three, I've got Purdue. They just took out my
Okay.
Tigers. Yeah. Um, it's funny to watch Purdue. They they didn't look that great today, and I think part of the reason was they did not shoot the ball from three very well. Uh, but they are a good ball club. I think that for Coach Painter, it is championship or bust this year for him. I'm not saying his job's on the line by any means. I'm saying that's the expectation. I think he's tired of flirting around with it. He wants to win it. At number two, Charlie, I've got Coach Sampson and Houston.
You're kidding me.
No, I'm not. It's so funny because we had talked about not discussing these beforehand, and here we are coming out on the on the same end. But I really feel like that. I've watched Houston over the years, and I think teams that are great at scoring, your Alabamas of the world, teams like that, Houston, they just take them completely out of their element with the style of defense they play. And the only thing I've ever worried about with Coach Sampson's teams is scoring. And he looks like he's got a little bit of scoring this year. So, and as you can guess, I've got Arizona at number one.
I can't believe this.
I cannot unsee what I've seen from the Wildcats this year. They
No.
look really good. I agree with you 100% about Pete. He's a beast. Bradley is very good. They play pretty dang good defense, and I think that the coaches got them bought in. So, yeah. So somehow, some way, we ended up with the same top four there. But
I can't believe it.
well, maybe it's all these years of watching ball together, Charlie. I don't know.
Maybe it's fate. Okay. So, next week's Thanksgiving, so that means that it is time for feast week in college basketball. Since we got our top tens out of the way, let's look at this graphic here. So this is all the feast week games or feast week tournaments. Really the major ones going on. So you see at the top you have the players era. And if you look to the right, the very right of the graphic, it shows you the top 50 teams in KenPom. 11 of them are playing in the players era next week. That's
absolutely
an
loaded
number.
Yeah, loaded.
I mean, does it kind of suck that it kills off like tournaments like the Maui or the Battle for Atlantis? Yeah, but I mean, you still get to play no matter what. So, so then also as mentioned, we have Maui, the Maui Invitational, the Battle for Atlantis. Some other ones, the ESPN Events Invitational. I figured out that one is 3 different brackets, and they don't play each other at the end, which is kind of wild to me. So what you're looking at right now, Dayton, Miami, BYU, Georgetown, all play each other, but they don't play like Charlotte or Furman, which is weird. I've never seen a bracket that's 3 different tournaments in one.
It's almost like a high school shootout or something, but
that's what it sounds like. Then you have the Baja Mar Hoops, which started tonight. Purdue's already knocked down Memphis, so Memphis will play the loser of Wake Forest, Texas Tech, and let's be real, it's probably gonna be Wake Forest. I mean, I don't want to doubt the abilities of the Demon Deacons because I've doubted them in the past and they've done stuff. Yep. But Texas Tech's just on a different level. than Wake
I agree
Forest.
with you. And as a Tiger fan, I think I would much rather see Wake Forest because I think we might be able to get a dub there. But yeah, I
See
agree
an
with you there.
angry Texas Tech team or a Wake Forest team that expected to lose. Which one would you want?
Yeah,
Um,
give me the Deacons.
then the Rady Children's Invitational, which has the reigning champs Florida in, which we said this before I said this before we went on. Kind of shocks me Florida didn't get a Players Era or Maui invite uh, as the reigning champs. I mean, they have Providence, TCU, and Wisconsin in their tournament here, their invitational.
Mm,
Then you also have the Charleston Classic, which is two different brackets. I don't think they play each other at the end, and the Hall of Fame Classic, which starts tonight. So, if we want to go in depth here, let's start with the sort of granddaddy of them all, the Maui, the
yeah,
most iconic.
I think we're going to have to go with the Maui. We're going to have to go through them fairly quick anyway. But let's go with the granddaddy of them all, Charlie.
So here is the Maui Invitational, the Southwest Maui Invitational, if you will. So looking at it at the start, it's the Seton Hall Pirates against the NC State Wolfpack. Seton Hall's a all right team. They're all
Yeah.
right for the Big East, but I think NC State, new coach. I think I'm trying to remember who they got. They got a McNeese's coach, and
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
he was LSU's coach for a
Yeah,
sec.
can't remember his
Uh,
name. But I know who you're talking
but
about.
I think they got a couple transfers from McNeese as well
Hmm.
from that team last year. So I think that's an easy Wolfpack win. USC Boise State. Um, Boise State. Thank you for coming after you lost to Hawaii Pacific. Thank you for coming. USC. In my prediction, they will trounce the Broncos. Wazoo Chaminade. Chaminade's in here for fun.
Yeah.
Obviously, they let's be real about Chaminade here. Um, well, how much do you think Washington State wins by in that game?
10.
10? That's
Yeah.
that's a bold
This
prediction right
is,
there.
Charlie, when you're talking about this, I'm not going to lie. I don't know how good Chaminade is. I do know that this is the biggest game that they're going to play all year. And, like,
Are you sure
this
the
is their,
loser of Arizona State Texas isn't the
well,
biggest game?
either way, you know, I, I'm looking at Maui, which is the proud tournament. I know we don't have enough time to go through everything, but I'm looking at this bracket, Charlie, and I'm telling you right now, I want to. I'm curious to what you think. I see Texas winning this tournament.
I kind of see Arizona State winning it. They had a
Mm,
great performance against Gonzaga last week, or on Friday night. I mean, they look like a decent enough team. If it's I'm trying to remember. I think it's a Hurley who's their head coach. I know it's a
mm.
Hurley. That's over there.
You know who
I
you were
think it's
talking
Bobby.
about earlier with
Who?
NC State, Will Wade.
Will Wade. Okay, so
Yeah,
Will Wade. I think it's going to come down to Arizona State, NC State at the end of this tournament. Or I mean, I could see Texas, NC State as well. I just don't.
that's what
I
I
don't.
like.
I don't think Seton Hall really has the juice. I mean, they're 5-0 this year, but
Hmm.
NC State's number 25 in the nation.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. So
yeah. I think I'm going to go with Texas, NC State. I'm going to go with the Longhorns to win.
that's fair. That's fair. I'm going with Arizona State, NC State. Give me the Wolfpack
All
in that
right.
one. So now let's travel over to Atlantis for the battle for Atlantis. Just looking at the teams here, it's
Hmm.
another one that I feel like the Players era has kind of snatched up a lot of its iconic enough teams. I mean,
Sure.
you're looking Western Kentucky, Vandy, VCU, South Florida, Colorado State, Virginia Tech, and Wichita State, St. Mary's. And I said before this stream that you could kind of assume who I'm picking. I forgot about St. Mary's being in here.
Mm.
St. Mary's is going to win by however much they just decide to win by. They are a team that look. There's a tweet out there, and it's from last year, and it says, "I love when St. Mary's just decides the other team cannot score,"
Mm.
and it is something that happens. Like if you look at St. Mary's on like ESPN, the scores that they have, like it's legit. The other team just stagnates for a long time. against the Gales. So I gotta assume that it's a easy win.
You think they're going to win the whole tournament?
I think they're gonna win the whole tournament. That's my lock right there
Uh,
of Atlantis.
okay. I'm going to tell you, I disagree with you there, Charlie, on this one. Um, I actually think that the top of this bracket is a little more stacked than the bottom. And maybe I'm wrong. I think South Florida's in the AAC, and everything I keep hearing is they're going to be they've actually moved them ahead of Memphis. I don't know about now after the Purdue game, but betting odds have them winning the conference. Uh, I see them and Vanderbilt duking it out for the top part of that bracket. I do think St. Mary's will play Colorado State in the bottom part of that bracket. Give me Vandy. I like the SEC to come out with a dub.
I can agree with the take about Colorado State. They got a good team over there in
I think so too.
Colorado Springs, but
Yeah.
I see the Gales doing it this year. They looked different this year. I mean, it's them or Gonzaga always in the West Coast Conference,
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I mean it's by far them or Wisconsin. I think I think Oregon State and Wazoo are also in the West Coast this year for one more year before the move over. So, do we want to get to the Players Era games?
Yeah, let's do it, man. That's
right.
the granddaddy.
So the first Players Era
brought to you by
Michelob Ultra. So the first day, November 24th, is stacked from top to bottom in Vegas. Rutgers, Tennessee, Creighton, Baylor, Kansas, Notre Dame, St. John's, Iowa State, Houston, Syracuse, Auburn, Oregon, Gonzaga, Alabama. That is going to be a game that moves our rankings everywhere. Michigan versus San Diego State, who I'll tell you about San Diego State real quick. They went double overtime with Troy a couple nights ago in a game that they had sealed like 3 times. So they are master chokers apparently. And then UNLV versus Maryland. And what says UNLV is the away team? This is a home game for UNLV. They're playing in Vegas. Let's have a timeout.
Yeah. So it's stacked, Charlie. I mean, like you said, there are some really good matchups. That Gonzaga Alabama game is something that is going to be must watch TV. You want to go through the games and take a swat at them?
Yeah, let's do this. So Rutgers, Tennessee. I just think that Tennessee's too much for Rutgers.
Yeah, give me the Vols. Give me the Vols by probably 10.
Creighton, Baylor. That is a game right there. Can Creighton kind of survive after Kalkbrenner's gone? That's my big question. Can Creighton survive without Kalkbrenner being on the team anymore?
I haven't watched Creighton play this year. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I have seen a little bit of Baylor, and they've got a good club there. Creighton is another team that traditionally shoots a lot of threes. So if the 3-ball falls, if I'm making a prediction, though, I'm going to go with Baylor in this ball game.
I'm looking at Creighton's schedule so far. So they beat they were ranked 23rd in the preseason AP. Okay. So they beat South Dakota in their first game by 16, then lost to Gonzaga by a nice cold 27.
Yeah, I saw that score.
Yeah, that's that game obviously in Spokane, but still 27 is an insane amount to lose in a game that's a 23 versus the 19. Obviously, Gonzaga is not a number 19 or a normal number 19. And then they beat Maryland Eastern by you don't even want to know the score. And then they beat North Dakota. So they conquered the Dakotas, is what I can tell you. They beat North Dakota by 15 going into this game against Baylor. It's probably the safe bet to go with Baylor here. Line's not out, but I'm sure it's gonna be Baylor minus 8.5 or so. I don't know. Baylor's just a strong team.
Yeah, I agree.
Still unranked. Then Kansas versus Notre Dame. I can tell you, I don't know what Notre Dame has this year.
I don't either. I've seen their football team, but I'm going to be honest with you.
I've watched their women's team.
Research. I've done a lot of research there. I did see Kansas. I think Bill Self's got it cooking. Give me Kansas with the dub.
Ooh, I'm looking at Notre Dame's schedule. They lost a close one to Ohio State
Mm.
uh, on Sunday. Then they beat Bellarmine yesterday by only 7. So some cracks in the Fighting Irish. They their next game obviously against Kansas. Give me the Jayhawks with or
Hmm.
without Peterson.
Yeah, I agree.
Honestly, yeah. St. John's versus Iowa State, which is last year. If you told me that was one of the games, I would tell you that's game of the century right there.
For
St.
sure.
John's and Iowa State looked different last year, but this year, this is the St. John's team that has looked kind of confusing to start off. It looks like that Patino magic that they had last year is kind of flip flopped a little bit. That Bama loss just kind of, I mean, they had Bama score 100 on them,
Hmm.
uh, in MSG. So I'd take the Cyclones here.
Um, I think that the Cyclones are the better team. The thing about Patino is I think he is good about getting teams up for big games, especially early in the year. This is my upset of the week, man. Give me St.
Mm.
John's over Iowa State.
Oh, okay, I see you. Okay, Houston versus Syracuse. Do we just want to say give us Houston by however much they want?
No, I'm picking the
Probably.
orange. No, yeah, give me Kelvin and the guys probably by 10. I could see them holding Syracuse into the or like I could see Syracuse scoring 47 points in this ball game.
That,
I
that
really
that
could.
is honestly fair. This is a
I mean,
Syracuse team that almost lost to I'm trying to now I already lost it. Monmouth.
monument,
Monmouth. Monmouth a few days
Monmouth.
ago. Which is like wild to think of Syracuse. I mean, even just 5 years ago
Yeah,
and the tail end of the Boheim era,
yeah,
almost losing to Monmouth in Syracuse.
yeah. It's a little
Um
different up there.
so then Auburn versus Oregon. So Stephen Pearl's team gets their first or their second real big challenge of the year, and it's Dana Altman and the
Yeah,
Ducks. Who Altman's I mean, he has the Ducks singing a little bit this year. It feels like they're doing decent enough in their conference play. It's obviously Auburn though, so let's
yeah,
be real.
yeah. I think it'll actually be a close ball game. I think maybe 5, 6 points, but I think Auburn ends up getting the win.
I believe Oregon's the reigning players era champions after last year. I believe they beat Bama in the finals in overtime. So speaking of which, 8:30 on. I'm gonna assume this is on TNT because it says TNT Sports. I don't know if it's on TBS. Maybe it's on True TV. I don't know. Uh, Gonzaga versus Auburn. That is a game where you have to be glued to your TV for because
100%.
you have Mark Few versus Nate Oates. You have just Tyon Grant Foster versus LeBaron Philon. I mean, this is a matchup of just starting 5 down. Both teams
Hmm.
are just, I feel like, sort of equally matched here. I think this is the best scheduling that the Players era could have done for a
Yeah,
game.
I agree with you. Two of the best coaches in the game, two proud programs. Uh, I just feel like that Gonzaga is very good. Uh, I think that Alabama lives and dies by the three. And this is probably considered another upset, but I'm taking the Zags to win this ball game.
I see right there. I mean, I could see the Zags doing it, but I just think that when the time starts ticking down in the last 2 minutes, Bama's got a closer, and
Yeah,
that's something that Gonzaga hasn't really had to worry about this year. Is a
100%.
real big tight ball game. Then we have a nightcap or almost nightcap here: Michigan State versus San Diego, or Michigan versus San Diego State. Um, this is a San Diego State team, like I said, went double overtime to Troy and choked. I think they choked a 3 point lead with like 6 seconds left, in just regulation time a couple days ago.
Hmm.
So give me the Wolverines by 12.
Yeah. I think Wolverines by double digits as well. Like I said, I think the Wolverines are one of the best teams in the nation.
And then our nightcap at 11 p.m. This is not a Hawaii tip off. This is UNLV versus Maryland. Here, Maryland, last night, I called you about this because it stunned me when I got the notification. I get notifications when like a player drops 40. Last night, Maryland in a tight one against Mount St. Mary's. Went to overtime. David Coit, their senior guard, 41 points with 8 3-pointers for the Terrapins, 11 for 11 on free throws as well. So the Terrapins have players, but this is a UNLV home game for all purposes here. I mean, it's in Vegas.
You taking Pastner?
I'm taking Pastner. Give me Pastner here.
Give me the Terrapins. Play
All right,
Terrapin Station by the dead. Give me the Terrapins.
That's the first one I. Or no, the second one we disagree on. I'm pretty sure. Third one.
Mhm.
So okay, so let's go. Day 2 of the Players Era. Rutgers versus Notre Dame. This game smells like it's going to be 57-57 with 3 minutes left.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Smells
I mean,
like
it's not that these are bad teams. It's just this seems like a one of those low-scoring rock fights right here. Who you got in this one, Duck?
I honestly just pick a name out of the hat. Give me Rutgers. I guess. Just give me the Scarlet Knights.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I kind of went back and forth on this one. I'm going to agree with you. Give me Rutgers. They've got some talent there. Last year, somehow he gets recruits up there. And
I don't know how he got Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey last year.
Well, I don't know. They must have some pocketbooks up there in New Jersey is what I'm thinking.
I'm telling you, Tony Soprano is still alive up there. And he's funding the Rutgers basketball team. Not the football team, but he's funding the basketball team.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you on this one, Duck. I think Notre Dame will put up a fight, but yeah, give me Rutgers.
So then Iowa State versus Creighton here in one that, I mean, if Iowa State comes in with their win or with an upset on or a beatdown on St. John's, I mean, what can you really say about this game that Creighton's going to go out there and try? I think if Iowa State beats St. John's, this is a foregone conclusion that the Cyclones are going to kind of go in there and beat Creighton as well. But
yeah, I picked against the Cyclones in the first game. I'm not going to do it here. I think that they're going to, like I said, Creighton is a live or die by the 3 team, and they don't shoot the 3 near as well as Alabama does. So give me the Cyclones as well.
All right, then on to Kansas versus Syracuse. A game 7 years ago that would have meant a whole lot different than it does right now.
Buddy, I mean, this was back in the day. This has been your Final Four game right here.
This would have been ESPN Classic logo in the top left. the little guy running through the tape. That's what this game would be considered. I mean, just give me the Jayhawks in here. I could see Syracuse making some noise in this game, but it's the Jayhawks. I'm not saying their phrase, but
I won't either. And I'm proud of you going to Mizzou. I won't taunt you with that one. I do think that the Jayhawks end up going 2-0 in Vegas.
So then St. John's versus Baylor is the next game. That is a game of 2 teams. I mean, this is a Baylor team wanting to be ranked versus a St. John's team who is trying to keep their rank a little bit. I mean, I believe they're number 15 in the nation right now, but there's a bunch of teams, below them and in the receiving votes line that are waiting for a spot to open up. I mean, it's a murderer's row, even in unranked teams right now. Mm-hmm. I got to take the Bears here.
This one is tough for me because, I could see Patino getting St. John's in good shape to win both these ball games. I think stylistically, this is a nightmare for St. John. Give me the Bears too. Bear down.
Sick 'em.
Sick 'em.
Then next, the game of the day, potentially. Mm-hmm. I don't know. You can tell me either of these next 2 games are game of the day, and I'm fine with you. Mm-hmm. Houston versus Tennessee. Sampson versus Barnes. I mean, I'd say that this is probably Houston's game to lose, but Tennessee's a pretty good team, nonetheless.
They're a real good team. I do think that this could be the best game of the weekend. I went back and forth on this. because I feel like that with the defensive effort that Kelvin Sampson's teams play with, it's hard to win back to backs. Um, that said, I I still think that they're that good. I think give me the Cougars by 2 over the Vols, but I think Barnes and them give them hell.
I just want to give you this scoring update because I'm looking at the scores right now as we're doing this,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a crazy, no, this is just a crazy blowout going on, in New York right now.
What you got?
St. John's is up 81-39 against Bucknell, and they've went on a 58-19 run.
Mm.
Bucknell was up in this game. They had momentum. I was looking at the score earlier. It's kind of shocking me how they were playing.
Yeah.
But I 81-39 is not a number to scoff at. I mean, especially before, kind of as a tune-up before you come here to the Players era.
Well, let me change my pick now. I'm just joking.
Not so fast, my friend.
All right.
The Michigan versus Auburn. That is a
be a heck of a
nasty
ball
game. Dusty May taking over from, was it Jawan?
Jawan Howard.
Jawan Howard
correct.
A couple years ago, yeah. So
That's correct.
Dusty May kind of rebuilding this Michigan team back up after Howard after that early Elite Eight run in 2021, kind of brought them back down. And Dusty Mays is trying to bring them back to glory, while Stephen Pearl is trying to keep Auburn in this national spotlight right now after his dad retired a month before the season started. So odds would probably say Auburn wins, but I gotta go with the Wolverines here.
Yeah, I'm with you. Give me the Wolverines. There's a reason I have them 5 in my power ranking. Dusty May is a coach that I'm familiar with.
You're very familiar with the Florida Atlantic.
Unfortunately, yes. But he is a very good coach. I think Auburn has kind of played better than they are, to be honest with you. I think this is going to be a close ball game, but I think that the Wolverines get it done.
Then we have our last 3 games of the Players era. Not the Players era as a whole. There's still a final that I think they picked the 2 best performing teams to play in the final, and then kind of the third place sort of type game.
I have no clue.
I don't remember how Alabama and Oregon got into that final last year, but so Gonzaga versus Maryland. I mean, like we said about I'm trying to believe it was Kansas earlier. Give me Gonzaga by however much you want.
Yeah. I think the Zags they win this big.
Oregon versus San Diego State. Give me Oregon.
Yeah, I'll take Oregon, even though I think it could be a competitive ball game.
And then the nightcap, UNLV hosts Alabama.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
I'm not gonna. I'm gonna say it. I think it's a trap.
You can say what you want. I think Coach Pastor got the best win he's going to get all year in Memphis. I think that Alabama wins this ball game by possibly 30 points.
Wow.
I really do. I don't think UNLV's that good. I think that
you're doubting Jackie Moon?
Man, I'm doubting him. I hope I never have to see that team again. But no, to be honest with you, I really do. I know that it's there in Vegas, but I don't think that really matters much. Give me Bama by 30.
Oh, the reason why I'm confused is that the late tip-off for a game. How many Alabama fans do you think are going to be awake at this point of the hour? 11 p.m.
Most of them will be fairly drunk and in bed by now.
It's the day before. I think it's the day before Thanksgiving too. So
they're going to be getting geared up for the Iron Bowl.
It's going to be rough.
They might be calling Feinbaum. I have no clue.
Hey, Paul.
Hey, Paul.
Hey, Paul.
But I do know this. I don't see Pastor getting a win over here in Vegas. Maybe that's just sour grapes from a Memphis Tiger fan. I don't know.
That's bold. I could see it being a trap, though. I could honestly see UNLV chip on their shoulder coming in and not beating Bama by far, but keeping it close, keeping it competitive.
I will say it's tough to play these games back to back. It's fun for us. But for these kids, it's tough. I mean, especially you get a hard fought ball game the first day, anything could
Yeah,
happen.
Bama
But
has to play Gonzaga day
I know,
one,
I know.
so
That's
that's a tough
I think
tough one.
Bama. I think they end up taking after losing to the Zags, take their frustration out on Josh Pastner and the running ribs.
I could see it. So out of the 2 days, who do you think is going to be the best performers and would I believe advance to the players era final?
Yeah,
Rather,
like I said, I don't know how it works, but I'm looking at it, and I think Houston uh, is going to win a couple ball games here. I think Michigan. I think Gonzaga. I think you could take your pick out of those three.
I think it matters on Alabama. If Alabama wins, I'd say make it Gonzaga Houston.
Mm,
And that'd be an insane game, Gonzaga
that'd be
Houston.
interesting, wouldn't it?
But if Bama loses and Gonzaga's win against Alabama looks just a little bit weaker, so then I feel like you can slip in Michigan there. I think it's off of who's the best performers of the weekend. So maybe Gonzaga comes in and beats both Maryland and Alabama by 30, and then we're just going to be talking about Gonzaga Houston.
Sure.
And so let's go back to our graphic here. So do you have any more tournaments that are highlighted here? Any ones that you just find silly?
Well, I find silly that the Charleston Classic has it set up like that. Isn't
Yeah,
that the one?
I believe one
Yeah,
side's the Palmetto and the other side is the shore side or something like
but
that.
that does have three top 50 Ken Paul teams in it.
It
Um,
does. I mean, you have Clemson, West
looking at,
Virginia, Xavier, Georgia in
mhm,
one quadrant.
yeah. Aside from that, I don't see a whole lot that just really piques my interest. I mean, the ESPN Events Invitational is kind of interesting just because of the amount of teams in, but you've only got one top 50 Ken Paul team in it. I think we've went over the big ones. Uh, I think this is a fun time of the year, though, if you're a college hoops fan. You get to it's tricky because you don't want to take too much from what you see because like I said you're playing games back to back and this is early on but it's
Yeah,
kind of fun to get to see teams play each other from all over the place and I really like those ranked matchups. That players era is just absolutely stacked, man. It's going to be fun to watch.
I mean, absolutely. And let's get to our last couple segments here.
Okay.
Last night I asked you just out of the whim, what do you believe are the top five most scary, let's say scary slash intimidating environments in college basketball?
Mm. It's pretty tough. I've given it some thought. Um, and I don't want to do these in necessarily particular order, but I guess I'll go ahead and rock them in particular order. Um, I've got at 5. I've got Fog Allen in
Oh,
Kansas.
oh yeah.
That is a tough place to go play. At 4, I've got Rupp Arena,
Okay.
and I
I
think a
see
lot of
Rupp.
people might have thought it would be higher, but I've actually been to Rupp Arena. It is a large building. So it's a little tougher to get that crazy kind of environment
And
that you
isn't it
get.
off campus?
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something about off campus stadium or arenas I feel like have less of a punch than
Yeah.
those field houses or gyms
I,
on
I
campus.
agree with you. I totally agree with you. It takes away from why here in Memphis, I hate the fact that we play at the FedEx Forum. I wish
Yeah.
that we had a smaller place. It's nice for the kids, I guess, in somewhat to play at an arena, but you've seen it when the fans don't show up, it gets a little tricky there, man. My third is Chapel Hill, North Carolina. It's just, you know, most of these places, as you can see, are old traditional powerhouses.
Yeah.
And over the years, they have developed a mojo there. And it's a tough place to go in and get a victory, in my opinion. At number 2, I'm not sure what the name of it is, if it's still the same name. And I know that they're not as strong as they used to be, but the University of Indiana.
Assembly Hall?
That's correct. Assembly
Yep.
Hall. Um, I don't know why I had a lapse there thinking of it. I kept thinking Conseco Fieldhouse. I don't know why I was.
That's where the
But
Pacers play,
dude,
and that's
if
like
the
three name changes ago.
even when the Hoosiers aren't that great, it's just Indiana is a different place when it comes to basketball. It really
Some
is.
some about them Indiana boys on them Indiana Knights.
And at number one, it's no surprise, man. It's Cameron Indoor Stadium. Um, when you look at the student section and you look to a big portion of the crowd actually just jumping up and down the whole time, players slapping the floor on defense, it, in my opinion, is the most hostile environment to go in. I've never seen a game there. I would love to, even though I'm not a Duke fan by any stretch of the imagination. Quite opposite. I can't take away from what they got going on there.
All right, that's a solid top five. I've sort of thought about mine a little bit. So my number five is McCarthy Athletic Center in Spokane. I think when the Zags are on fire, that that arena is just. I mean, it's small. I just looked it up, 6,000
Yeah,
capacity
that's a good
in there.
call.
I mean, the Zags just win a lot. I mean, obviously they're guaranteed at least two or one conference loss every year because of St. Mary's. But besides that, I mean, they win a lot in that arena because they don't have the best conference. We'll see next year when they move over to the Pac if that will be any different. Then number four, I gotta agree, Rupp Arena is right up there. That place is just loud. When the Wildcats can sort of get on a run, it feels like the other team just can't do anything about it, and half of it's that environment there. You got to think if their football team was half as good, that their football environment would be good too.
Yeah, you think so.
You think so?
Luckily, they're not.
Yeah, we don't like you, Stoops. Uh, then number three, I'm gonna have to agree with Cameron Indoor
Mm.
at number three. I think that place is just it's a daunting task to go in and
Yep.
play. I mean, there's a reason that Duke consistently wins most to all of their home games
Mm.
every year, and it's just, I mean, it's the system that they have, it's the program, but it's also the fan base. I mean, the Tobacco Road, they stay up for 72 hours plus to get seats in that student section.
Well, Charlie, when the fans literally have a nickname that involves the arena, the Cameron Crazies, that
Yeah,
tells it all right there.
I mean, absolutely. Then you get to my final two. I have a hot take on one of mine here.
Mm-hmm.
This one's gonna probably stun you here, but one of the best home records, and it's because of the environment, is the Hilton Coliseum in Ames, Iowa
Mm.
State. Hilton
Mm.
Coliseum is different. A bunch of NBA players say it's the toughest environment to play in, just because
Really?
how loud it is. I mean, it's 14,000, and they pack it every single game
Hmm.
in there, and it's on campus too. It's just I'm trying to figure out how many home wins Iowa State gets like on average every year, because it's a ton.
Mm.
Uh, and then my number one, Fog Allen.
Mm.
I mean, Kansas is just, I don't even know. Kansas is great. Uh, when I mean they have, for very good reason, the longest home win streak in NCAA college basketball, or had the longest one
Yeah,
at 54 games,
they did. Yeah.
and like that's just a testament that how loud that crowd gets when the Jayhawks are good. When the Jayhawks are the environment does die out a little bit.
Mm.
I can't lie. Last year, that West Virginia game, they kind of got when Javon Small came in there and just kind of took over
Yeah.
uh, and beat them. I mean, it kind of got quiet for a bit there. Also, they did get upset by West Virginia, so I think I'd be quiet there too.
That's true.
uh, so those are our top five. So let's get into your locks of the weekend, your big weekend predictions that you have, if you have any.
Well, let's go back to. Can you hop up the players there back on the screen again?
Yes. Which one do you want, the first day or the second day?
Give me the first day.
All right, there you go.
This is one, like I said, they haven't, at least at the time of the show, they hadn't announced spreads on this one at all. But I really like Baylor over Creighton. Um, I think that Baylor, it's going to be a tough fought ball game, but if you can get Baylor at anywhere, I mean, I'd lay 6 with them. I really would. I think that's my lock of the week, my number one lock of the week. Charlie, can you pull up the Battle of Atlantis for me?
Yes, I can. Got all these. I got all these in the docket. I'm good.
My second lock there is Colorado State over Va Tech. I would be willing to lay probably close to double digits on that, 9.5 if I had to.
Wow.
Yeah, I really
I
do.
mean,
I'm big on Colorado State. I
now
am.
let's ask the question: do you consider the Mountain West in basketball a power conference or not? This is a tough debate question right here.
I mean, no, I don't. But I mean, I think that they're right on the fringe of that. But
Mm.
if you're asking me if I'm going to roll them up there with the Big 12, SEC, Big 10, ACC, no, I'm not. I mean, I'm just not.
I don't know. It's tough for me because they consistently get a few teams in the
They
tournament
do.
every year. So it's
They, they do.
well, you got
They
to
do.
include the Big East as well as a power conference. Let's not forget the Big East because I mean, at their peak, they have about 4 or 5 teams that make it.
That's true.
I mean,
That's true.
you have a
But I
UConn,
remember a time
Marquette.
when the Big East was like the SEC is now.
Yeah.
Not quite as bad, but the Big East used to be stacked. My final lock of the week, if you can pull up Maui, I got one more for you.
Okay. Is it
All
Chaminade plus 35,000?
right. I wish it was. I'm actually going to go a little bit off of the reservation here. I'm not going to pick like one of the bigger ones like Arizona State, Texas. I'm going to tell you right now, if you can get USC locked in for anything less than 9, I'd take it all day long. I might even be willing to take it up to 9.5. I think that they're going to put a whooping on Boise State, and those are my 3 locks of the weekend.
Okay, I like that. I like that. So now let's get to, you know, he has his own segment. I have my own segment here. I'm a big fan of mid-major basketball. That's kind of the reason the ESPN Plus subscription gets used so much throughout this time of the year. Because I'm always watching mid-major basketball. Basketball. I'm always locked in, and I'm gonna set some ground rules on my mid-major favorites. Gonzaga and St. Mary's aren't mid majors.
No,
They're
not
not. They're
anymore.
not.
They aren't.
They're by far not mid majors. Um, I'm starting off with that because I don't know how you can call them a mid major when they consistently get within that I mean 5-6 line in March. So right now I'm pretty high on the Winthrop Eagles. They just went to Bud Walton a couple nights ago and were a double tech away from winning.
Mm.
Really, they took a 3 when they were down 1. So let's not act like their decision making was smart there. But still, I mean, it's it's tough. It's tough when you lose a game. But I feel like I'm not a big believer in moral victories, but I think that's a moral victory. You go in to Fayetteville against Coach Cal and this Arkansas team, which is sort of I want to say early. If they can't produce with this team, it's gonna look rough for Coach Cal in the next couple of years. If this is the team to produce with, and who knows? So Winthrop going in there and having a night. I'm trying to get the player's name from a couple nights ago that was just hitting threes left, right, and center. I think I have it here. It is Kareem Rozier.
Mm-hmm.
He had 23 points, 7 for 10 from 3. That
Well,
is,
whenever you're a small school like that and you're able to go into a place like Bud Walton and play what I think, I know we didn't really talk about Arkansas today. I actually think Arkansas is a very good team. Um, and I think that they are very talented and they're a Sweet 16 team from last year, Charlie.
yeah.
I think that they're going to make noise. So yeah, I think Winthrop has a lot to be proud of that. Winthrop's a team that's you see them on the bracket quite often. They make the tournament now. So
I mean, historically, they are a pretty successful little mid-major in terms
mm-hmm.
of just making the tournament. Then I also have Liberty out of the CUSA. I'm
Oh
not the
no.
biggest fan of Liberty, yes, but I mean they beat Charleston in the Field of 68 tip-off earlier this year, 90-75. This is a Charleston team that consistently makes the tournament as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then they also beat FAU by 20
Mm-hmm.
in the Field of 68
that
tip-off.
FAU
I mean,
team's not what it used to be,
it's
but
it's a shell of what it used to be, but
yeah.
it's still dangerous. And my final one, I'm gonna bring out. You want me to do it? I'm gonna bring out some action on
Okay,
you.
I like that.
The Akron Zips,
Okay.
3-1. Okay, their first win against James Madison. Okay, James Madison, at basketball, sure. Their second win, Princeton. How much do you think they beat Princeton, who I believe made the tournament either last year or the year before, by?
10, 12.
It was 104-69.
Wow.
And then obviously they beat a Penn State variant, 109-51. We don't care. Then, I mean, Purdue in a game where I'm pretty sure the line was Purdue by. Let me see. The line was Purdue minus 19.5. They just got under that line. Akron covered.
Mm.
They won. They lost by 18 in Matt Painter's 500th win. But then they have games coming up against Murray State, who's another one who can make some noise this year in the MVC.
Year in and year out.
I mean, this is an MVC this year that is open because Drake is gone. I mean, let's be real here. Drake is a shell of what they were last year because they lost 4 out of the 5 of their starters and their head coach. So, I mean, when you lose your top scorer, your top coach, or your coach, it's a little rough to regain from that. And there's also Belmont, Northern Iowa involved there. But those are my mid-major darlings.
I like it. I really like your Winthrop pick, and I think the Zips they're traditionally a good ball club that plays really solid defense, and the MAC is a conference that's kind of a knockdown drag out, man. So I like that, Charlie. I think those are good picks, man.
Yeah, and then just to wrap us up here, I saw this bracket today that was through 2 weeks what the March Madness bracket would look like. It's never too early to get into some bracketology based on just KenPom results. So they include, I know how much we like KenPom here. Yeah. So this is the bracket that I found. So it has here the 1 seeds are Duke, Gonzaga, Kentucky, and Houston. And this is from 2 days ago. So lots changed probably.
Sure.
Kentucky's at that 2 line now. By far, I have to assume. But as you're looking at these matchups for the first time, do you see one that kind of piques your interest?
Yeah, it's
where to stay.
NC State, Memphis. After what I saw from Memphis tonight, if the team that played tonight played, that could be an upset.
You see who they would play in the next round.
Yes, I do. And
that would be a silly one.
I think Rick Barnes would cry in the press conference because you know how much he does not want to ever play Memphis again.
That would be the silliest option ever.
I think that's interesting. I actually like Memphis on a 12 seed better than I do an 8-9. Good Lord, let's get off that line. Looking around, I see my alma mater, Ole Miss at 7. I'll explain for people that don't know real quick. I am an Ole Miss alum. I love Ole Miss to death, but I grew up watching Memphis Tiger basketball, and they will always be my basketball team. I grew up with 3 channels. So as a little sports fan, all that Matt could watch consistently was Memphis Tiger basketball because it was on every game. So that sums that up. But I do think Ole Miss has got a good team there. Just looking around, I mean, this stuff's fun, but it's way too early. I do think seeing Hawaii in the tournament kind of
That would be a
cracks
trip.
me up. Yeah, I don't know. This kind of stuff's fun to look at. I do think that things are going to change so much throughout the year, and Kip
Yeah,
Palm not my favorite.
I see one thing that's gonna definitely change. If you look at that top right corner, that
Uh,
says Auburn, Michigan State as the 8-9.
yeah. God, what a game!
I don't think Michigan State's gonna be a 9 seed.
No, I
I
don't
mean,
think I don't.
unless there's a generational fall off, I don't see Michigan State being a 9 seed. I don't see Auburn being an 8 either.
Nah, me either. Me either. Like
Yeah.
I said, this stuff's fun, but I don't put too much stock into it.
So, do we have any final things we want to talk about on this first episode of Duck
No,
Duck
man.
Hoops?
I mean, it's a thrill. I look forward to doing this throughout the year. Me and you have talked about doing a podcast forever, and this is, I mean, for you guys tuning in, this is basically what me and Charlie do when we're just hanging out. We're sports fanatics. We love college hoops, so it's a thrill. Thank you for asking me to do this, and can't wait to get on it again next week.
Yeah, and so next week it probably is going to be a live show
Yeah.
of us two sitting down there in Bartlett talking about games, and then potentially having to come back up here for Hey Tie football.
Hey man, hopefully so. Hopefully so.
And,
Go Indians.
I mean, next week we'll be just talking about the Feast Week results. I mean, the Players Era will be wrapped up probably by the time that we get our next show in. And just to give you a score update here, Texas Tech early in the Baja Mar Classic, but they're up 21-12 against Wake Forest. JT Toppin has 12 straight points.
Yeah,
he's on his own
beast.
12. He's on his own 12 something run right now.
He's one of the better players in the nation too. He really is.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking the Wooden Award right this year is going to be a stacked competition.
I agree.
For the top dog. You got Koa Pete, you have JT Toppin, Braden Smith,
Boozer,
Cam Boozer. I mean, AJ Dibansa. I mean, pick anyone out of the top 10 teams, and that's who your race is. I mean, Peterson when he comes back for Kansas, if he can get his footing.
Absolutely.
So, I think that's a good wrap on the first episode of Duck Duck Hoops. So thank you all for watching. We'll see y'all next week with some Feast Week talk, or Feast Week wrap-up talk, and some talk as we get into that first little bit of December basketball, when it becomes very apparent no team's going to schedule anyone except for a challenge.
That's right.
So,
quack, quack. We'll see y'all next week.
Quack, quack. We'll see y'all next week. Thank y'all for watching.